Last one, schools. Let's address that one. How are you going to fix the education?
Future schools. So here's what I believe. I believe that humans are entitled to by 18 graduating debt-free and with the opportunity to get a career. That's what I believe. But what do our high schools teach today? They teach you geography and geometry. You graduate high school, what happens? Maybe you get a minimum wage job or you go hundreds of thousands of dollars into student debt. That is not how to lead a life. That is how to stay poor. That is how to stay broke, especially in a state where there's high homelessness, happiness levels go down, and it's difficult to get around because traffic is so problematic, and it's difficult to build wealth because housing is so expensive. Now, don't get me wrong. California is beautiful, and California has so much potential. We've got really smart people in California. The leadership is broken. And by solving the leadership at our schools in partnership with our unions, our school unions, we can make schooling better. Teachers are miserable teaching the same boring curriculum, seeing their students graduate at 18, turning homeless or not able to get a job or working 2 or 3 minimum wage jobs. And then they have a child. And then guess what? Now they're working 2 or 3 minimum wage jobs and they're in poverty and they're on social services. That is not what California should be fostering. That's exactly what California is doing. We should be providing careers for people because guess what happens? You have a career and you provide lots of value to a business because you have a skill. Well, then maybe you can get maternity leave. And you're not reliant on the government. The point is, get people off reliance on the government. We got to get government out of people's lives.
Okay, so that one, I get it. We want people to get off of government. Should we fire terrible teachers or should we keep them, keep tenure going?
Well, I mean, okay. So this, I think that goes into a very nuanced discussion as well. But I think I just want to make this point here. I think we are on the same wavelength of we want to get the government out of people's lives. We want people not to be dependent on the government. But the way you get there is by actually instituting real change. And you do that with our homeless plan. You do that with our future schools.
We want another 160,000 homeless people.
I didn't say that.
Government out of your life is by letting the government have a state of emergency and take everything over.
All right, so let me ask you, candidates running against you.
No. Are you saying that homelessness is not a state of emergency? Are you saying that housing is not?
It's about time you went on the offensive. Good job. But the idea and that you're appealing to my libertarian nature by talking about regulation, the way bureaucracy has stranglehold over commerce. Okay, these are all accurate things. These are things that it's refreshing, frankly, to hear a Democrat admit that this is true. Yeah. But then you kowtow to the unions as if they're not a bureaucracy that's harming the educational process as well. And also, we're talking about building new homes, and we're not talking about the government disincentive to build new homes because right now it's free money for Section 8. The reason that new homes aren't being made is that you have these commercial real estate, these buy zoning. The reason why every city in America looks the same now is because of government, guys. The reason why there's shops on the first floor and then apartments on the next 4 floors is because of government. This is how you maximize real estate.
I go to downtown Europe. I love that. I love having a coffee shop downtown and people are able to live above. What's wrong with that?
What do you mean? I didn't say there's anything wrong with it. You're saying that you're going to build more houses. There's a disincentive to build houses because right now, if you have someone like, if you have Patrick, right, and Patrick's going to invest $100 million into a place, he's not going to invest in old school baby boomer, widespread suburbia. It's not going to be urban sprawl. It's going to be a commercial section on the bottom, and then it's going to be 3 floors of Section 8, and then 3 floors that you can put out into a REIT at $3,000 a month, and they stay vacant the whole time, and he's going to make 5 times his money.
Okay, I get where you're coming from. I do think a lot of government programs create issues in housing, such as rent control. And I'm not proposing get rid of rent control, but I understand that rent control actually disincentivizes available units on the market. And so there are some issues where rent control can actually increase rents. But we don't need to talk about rent control. What we need to focus on is more options for folks. And guess what's happening right now? Because it's so hard to go through the building and safety processes, you come into California with $100 million, you want to build, 20, 30 homes or something like that, or you want to build 100 homes, whatever you can build with your budget. You are incentivized in California to build mansions. Why? Because when you can build a house for $2 million and you could sell it for $5 million, it pays for all the headache and nonsense you went to for 2 or 3 years dealing with the architects and the building and the bureaucrats and the regulation. We're not incentivizing actually building smaller, lower end units because it's so impossible and then it's not profitable. Yeah. So it's actually, look, we're on the same wavelength. I just believe that these programs are coming in making folks less interested in providing the homeschool.
So teachers, fire bad teachers or keep good teachers? What do we do with bad teachers?
I need to understand that a lot more, what you're asking me, because I do not have all of the answers and statistics for you on that. I personally believe that if you suck at your job, you should not be working that job.
Well, your biggest battle is the teachers union, and that's where you got to get
saying.
in.
That's where I was going with that.
I don't believe that I am anti-teachers union. I believe that I am for a combination of businesses working with unions and nonprofits to provide better education. We could do that together under the leadership of a government.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.